Good afternoon, guys. So I've got two more packages now. A couple things just showed up. I'm not sure what they are because I kind of forgot. I'm pretty sure they're my bushings, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So I'm gonna rip open the box here real quick and see what's inside. Billet bushings for the shifter. Looks like my billet mount showed up actually way earlier than I thought they would. These are for the subframe, I guess, style mount that goes to the back of the diff. These are the ears part of the diff itself, and these go in the shifter. Now, I will be installing these tonight, and I'll be showing you these here in a couple of minutes. I'll be showing you these guys here in a couple minutes, installing all this. That's going to be really simple, but these two items here, I don't think I'm going to install, and I'll explain this here in a couple minutes once I walk out in the garage, so hold on. So like I was just saying there, this mount here, which I have the other one still in the package, goes on this side of the diff, and then there's another one that goes to the back, and then I also have the ears, which go inside of here. Kind of made the executive decision to, I guess, not use this now. I don't really have much of a choice. I might have to use the top hat of it for that. Kind of sucks. I wanted to use them, but I think it's going to cause too much vibration and too much noise, especially for a street car. After talking to a couple people, it seems like, especially with this too, it's going to cause even more noise. The whole reason I even went with this is because for the longest time, every single person said, do not use rubber mounts. Again, everyone said, and I mean every single person I messaged, I talked to said, use solid mounts for everything. When it came to the rear end, they said, you wanted no movement. Now I post up about everything, now I get a complete 180. Everyone says, don't use solid mounts. Mind you, this is only, what, 3-4 months ago I was asking about it, so it just shows you how wishy-washy people can be and like how things go. So now I'm kind of up in the air on what to do. I guess I'm gonna leave the stock mounts in it for now. I do have Figs Engineering polyurethane mounts coming just for the back. Since my car is an NA, I only have the one mount which goes here, and I don't have that mount over there, so the subframe is actually physically missing that mount right now, and I'll have to install that when that time comes. So I do have those polyurethane mounts that I'll put in back for there, and I'll probably just leave the stock. My next issue with the stock ones is it seems to be missing the top pieces here for the rubber, so I'm not sure how to even source that, or if the rubber's just ripped off from over time. I'm not sure if it's supposed to look like that, as I've never taken out the NA diff yet. So I need to look at that and reassess that yet too. I'm not really sure what to do. If I have to, once again, if I have to, I can always remove these and put in the solid ones I have already. I don't want to use them now just because of the fact that I don't want the extra noise if I don't need it. So I'm going to kind of hold off on that. What I am going to do is install these inside of here. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do this real quick. Super simple. Last video you guys saw, I went ahead and removed the old ones from it. The top one here I'm not going to remove. It has some slop in it too, but once I put these billet ones in top, and the bottom ones I mean, it'll pretty much eliminate all of it, and this will give it a little bit less vibration by having the top one still rubber. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I clamped it up and get that done here real quick, so hold on. So like last time, I'm using the vice grip here to press these in now. Last time I was pressing out the old style bushings. This time I'm going to be pressing in these new ones. So I could probably do this with one hand. It should go in fairly easily. As you can see here, I'm using my thumb to literally press these in. They're not that tight, which is a good thing because this cast aluminum, you don't want to be putting too much pressure on or trying to screw with. So I'm slowly just turning it here until it seats itself. Let's see if I can get it to bottom out here. And that seems to be bottomed out. So I'll go ahead and back this out real quick. And now that's pressed in. Simple as that, guys. Like I said, I got these off eBay for a couple bucks. They were super cheap, definitely worth the money. The guys right here in the US, Michigan, I think it was, but for $12, I think I paid $5 back in the day when I did this to my W58. So I just got to do it to the other one real quick and I'll be done. Now that those are installed and all said and done, I can reinstall the shifter back on. One thing else I want to do tonight is like I said in the last one, I went ahead and removed the JZX style shifter. Hold on, let me get this seat out of the way. I went ahead and removed the JZX style shifter because I was told it was a little bit longer, and if I put the W58 shifter inside of here, it'll actually fit perfectly and work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and install this back on real quick, and then start taking that back apart and getting to the shifter itself and try installing it to see what the difference difference is and maybe do a comparison for you guys. So anyone else out there using an R154, and if you have a tripod style like me and you're going from say a W58, you might be able to reuse your shifter and have a better throw and a better look. I don't think anyone wants a truck style shifter inside their car if they can avoid it. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what that looks like and go from there. So give me a second. One thing else I wanted to mention, guys, you're gonna wanna use 2 washers to actually put behind the actual, I guess, what do you want to call it here, the tripod itself, or one shifter depending how thick they are. Because this is now solid, it has no movement, you go to do that and it puts stress on this arm. You don't want to put any stress, extra stress on these cast aluminum arms, as they do have a habit to crack if you try to. So I recommend putting 1 spacer behind it, which I was going to forget and not do. So just another friendly reminder, put 1 little spacer behind it, something like this, and it should be just fine. Now next up here, I need to go ahead and remove this panel and go ahead and take the shifter out. Now, this shouldn't be that hard to do, as there's not really much that holds them in. Pull up on this, should pull out pretty easily. Pull out the old, you know, every sports car needs one of these. Everyone needs somewhere to put your ashes. Pull that right out, it's pretty simple. And then boom. Got 4 bolts here, and then there's 4 bolts that actually hold the shifter in itself, so let's pull them out. Alright, now that I have the boot off, you can see the shifter in itself down in there. So all you can see is the skeleton too. See how there's pretty much no movement down there either. But what I'm going to do is pull up in this little boot. If I can get it up, it's pretty hard to do with one hand, to be honest. So I'm going to pull that boot up. I think there's 4 10mm bolts that hold it on. Going to go ahead and remove those and then compare the shifter side by side for you. So I just removed the bolt that's below it there. It should pull out, which it just did, which was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So there's the shifter. So let's compare this side to side to the other one here, which is for the JZX car. See how much difference is it in size. So right off the bat, guys, let's move these bolts out of the way. If you look here, it looks to be almost, hold on, let's see. It looks to be about an inch shorter right off the bat. Nothing too crazy. One thing I noticed too is how much heavier this one is too, with the center section there is much girthier, or much thicker. Now, one thing I noticed though, this has almost like a ball joint it rests on, whereas this, well, this does too, but this is different inside. So let's give this a shot, see if this sits down in there the same. Would you look at that? Son of a bitch. So yeah, it does, guys. Bolts right up to it. So I think I'm going to be using the W58 shifter. Like I said, this is about 1 inch shorter. That's about it. So I'll go ahead and keep this over here with that. So it is slightly different. Not a whole lot, but it is slightly different. So I think I'm going to go aheally and throw that in the car. And actually I'm going to put this bottom bolt in just to see how it feels. It shifts real quick. Right off the bat, guys, I can tell you this feels a lot better, especially with these billet mounts. And this little bit less throw just feels nicer. Feels very, I don't know, I'm very interested in getting, well, I had to bolt this down yet, so this will feel even better yet, because right now I don't have that little plate bolted down, but I gotta take it back off anyways, because to install the trans, I don't really want this on. I'll leave the tripod shifter on, but I won't leave that on. Anyways, but it feels a little bit better. I mean, I won't really know until I drive it, but we do know this is about 1 inch shorter than the JZX style. Not a massive difference, so honestly, if you would put that in your car with the JZX shifter, it's straight up and down. It'll fit in a Mark IV Supra very easily. I wouldn't think anything of it, to be honest. So that just gives you some perspective on that. Next up, what I'd like to do is work on the diff over here. Not sure if I'm gonna get to it in this video. I mostly wanted to go over showing you guys to install those billet shifter mounts, getting a W58 shifter on the JZX or the R154 style transmission. I just think that was something I really wanted to go over with you guys. I'd love to go ahead and install billet mounts and do all that stuff, but I kind of want to hold off. Like I said again, if someone out there could tell me, I mean, I'm pretty much looking here and it looks like this should mate up to something. This should be flat the whole way across. It looks like if there was rubber here, it either was attached to this at one time and ripped off, or the top pieces are 100% missing. Might even text Chris and ask them if they still have those rubber mounts. If you guys could let me know, I would appreciate it, as I'm not really sure and I haven't pulled the other diff yet. I need to get that done here as soon as possible, but time is limited. I am happy to have sun a little bit longer now. As you can see here, Pennsylvania's starting to warm up a little bit, so I have the doors open now. Hopefully I can get this done all this weekend. I'm hoping to pretty much come home right away on Friday night and start ripping into the car. Luckily for me and unluckily for me, my wife works all weekend, so it means I can devote all the time to this. Try to spend as much time as I can with my wife. She's my rock, so without her, pretty much I wouldn't be able to do half this stuff. So she means the world to me. So I try not to piss off the wife, if y'all know how that goes. So I think that's going to be it for this one. Figured I'd come out here in the sun a little bit, and yeah. But I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate everything you've been doing for me here and following me on this whole build. I keep getting so many messages, and I can't express how much that really means to me. It's just an awesome feeling. Like, I met a really good guy, Ron. He has really changed my whole perspective on how to go about YouTube and how to feel about things and what people say or what you shouldn't do. And he's just an all-around good guy. Pretty happy I got to meet him. He actually knows David Patterson, which is that dude in blue. If everyone I feel like knows that channel. And those guys have been giving me great advice so far. So thank you, Ron. I really do mean it from the bottom of my heart, dude. I appreciate everything you've helped me with. And everyone else out there, thank you guys. I only do this channel for you, so thank you very much. As usual, guys, hit up my Instagram page, which is purefunction_, and then it's Pure Function Engineering for my Facebook. Thank you again, as usual. I appreciate everything y'all do. I'll see you soon. Peace.